Hey everybody, it's part 47 of our Every Man's Battle study, and I'm going to kind of pick it up where we left off, and so that might seem a little weird if I just go right into that paragraph, but we were talking about how, I believe it was, it was Fred Stoker and his wife Brenda saw the fall of a very famous television preacher, and her disgust with that, Brenda's disgust with that, and what she said. And what she said would make us cringe as men, because what if our wives found out about the things that we're hiding or something like that, you know? And I could tell, look, guys, I know you were kind of cringing, thinking that, you know, look, if my wife found that out, it would be so bad. But it goes on, you know, with what she said. She goes, man, if I could not even stand to be around him if I found that out. And that makes you think to yourself, look, if she knew the things that I was not being 100% about, the things that I wasn't being, 100% honest about or something like that, if she knew those things, then she wouldn't want to be around me. She wouldn't love me anymore. And so it goes on. It says, whoa, Brenda doesn't mince words, does she? But the plot quickly turned the next day when she broached the topic again. She told me she was feeling sorry for the disgraced preacher, because he'd been desperately struggling alone against a secret sin. Brenda felt that if only his wife had known, she could have helped him through prayer. Brenda was very insightful. It took some time, because her first reaction was one thing. But over time, as she had time to consider everything, it helped her to develop a different viewpoint. And that's what we need. Wives, be with your husbands in prayer. Pray for your husbands. Wives, encourage your husbands. Let your husband know that you believe in him, that you know that he can do what he's trying to do to overcome and be the man that he wants to be, the man God wants him to be, the man he needs to be for you, and the man you want him to be. Okay? Very important. Fred, she said, if you had such a problem, wouldn't you come to me and tell me? I would want to be praying for you and helping you. I burst out laughing. I couldn't tell you anything like that. I said, just yesterday, you said you were totally repulsed by it. I feel like you wanted me to be cast into a leper colony if you ever knew about such a thing. If you ever knew that such a thing was in my life, you'd want me to be cast into a leper colony. I know some men will disagree with me on this point, and that is just fine, because your own wife better than I do. But most wives react with shock and revulsion rather than with mercy and prayer. Besides, how would she respond to you if she knew that you had quit the battle? If you'll be tempted to do, especially in the first weeks, and you will be. If you're fighting this thing in the first few weeks, you will be tempted to quit the battle. Do not quit. Before telling her, you had better check your will to win during the heat of battle. If it will take a while before you really, really want to win, you'd be better off waiting to tell her, because she will be watching. And I can tell you, especially if she knows and betrayal has come into this in any way, shape, or form. If you've had an affair, or anything like that, betrayal has come in, she's going to be watching. She's going to be listening. She's going to be watching every move that you make. Everything is a test. Be ready. Be ready. Everything is a test. Brenda recently told me that even now, all these years later, she occasionally watches my eyes when we go past billboards, just to check on me. With good habits in place, I have not failed her. But who needs that pressure if you aren't ready for it? Make sure that you're ready for it. And let's get you ready for it. Reach out to us, okay? Listen, you can reach out to us. We are Unbroken Together Coaching. Whether it's just me or whether it's Kimberly and I helping you get through it, we can overcome this stuff. You can overcome this stuff, and you can be better. You can be the better that you want to be. All you have to do is know it first and foremost, and then accept it, And then we can move forward through it, and I can help you, give you the steps, give you the tools, and hold your hand and walk you through. I always tell my guys like this, I can walk you through it like junior high, okay? I can explain every detail of how this works, and we can get through it together, okay? Once you're absolutely sure that you hate your sin and are ready to change, tell your wife. By this time, she'll suspect something anyway, since your entire sex drive will now be leveled at her. Things are going to change in your sex drive. A lot of you guys don't believe that that will happen, but there are several guys out there right now who you do not want to have sex with your wife. For some reason, you could say to yourself, I want to have sex, but I don't want to have sex with her. That will change. When your desire is fully focused on her, she's going to notice a difference, and so will you. Once you're absolutely sure that you hate your sin, right? Having gone through this battle, I know that there are some practical ways a wife can help. First, your wife can be like a methadone fix, right? When your temperature is rising. Second, when she's searching for a new sexual equilibrium with her, when searching for a new sexual equilibrium with her, it obviously helps if she's knowing what's going on. And third, once your wife understands your eyes, she won't ask you to watch a women's beach volleyball game with her while you're trying to go cold turkey. Okay? All right? Very, very important. Now, real quick, single guys, single men, let's talk for you. Release for singles. As a final point, let's explore how the battle works, in particular for singles. One reason singles can get tripped up in their quest for purity is that they feel overmatched. That's why they're quick to say, it's easy for you to talk about sexual purity. You're married. Earlier, we dismissed marriage as an adequate answer to purity problems, but the question for singles remains, what are you going to do with the sexual pressure you sometimes feel? First of all, you have to take by faith that once you get your eyes and mind under control, the sexual pressure will drop off dramatically. You bring most of the sexual pressure onto yourself through visual, sensual stimulation and mental fantasy. Even so, there remains the male 72-hour cycle of sperm production. Without the impurity of the eyes, the pressure generated by lust is gone, but there is still a natural physical pressure for release, though much weaker. What am I going to do about that, you might ask? How will I get release? God has supplied the way of release, something with which you're familiar. Clinically, it's called nocturnal emissions, but somewhere in a dank, smelly football locker room, some kid decided to call it a wet dream, and that name stuck. The good news for singles is that nocturnal emissions can work for you in your quest for purity. They can also work for married guys who aren't as sexually active as they want to be. So you can get there. You can achieve it. I mean it, seriously. Oh, nocturnal emissions, you mean I'm not allowed to just masturbate at all? Is that what you're saying? What if I don't think about sexual things while I'm doing it? Look, good luck with that. Try that. Your mind is going to go somewhere. Your mind is going to go somewhere, okay? It happens, all right? I'm trying to help you overcome the need for masturbation, overcome the need to look at things like pornography, the compulsions to do that stuff. Those things are not a need. Those are decisions that you make. Those are choices that you make. All right? Those are choices that you make, all of it. And you can overcome it. It is a matter of doing. It is a matter of deciding, I am going to do it. I am going to be better, and nothing is going to stop me. I am tired of this sin. I want to defeat it. I want to beat it, and I'm going to beat it no matter what I have to do to get there. Let's do that. Let's do it together, okay? You got a problem with it? Tell me. If there's questions that you have, tell me. You need somebody to be there for you? Look, there's men's groups everywhere. If you want a coach, I can be that for you. Reach out. Reach out, okay? Meet me in the comments, like, share, and repost the videos. Join the ministry with me. We'll talk later.